Have you ever noticed something strange about the most successful people you know? They don't talk about motivation. They don't post inspirational quotes. They don't wait for Monday to start. They simply do what needs to be done every single day, without drama, without fanfare, without negotiation. While you're scrolling through motivational videos at midnight, promising yourself that tomorrow will be different, these people have already trained, worked, and executed. And when you ask them how they do it, they never mention feelings. They never talk about being inspired. They talk about something completely different, something that most people in the modern world have forgotten. Today, I'm going to introduce you to a concept from ancient Japan that will completely change how you think about discipline, action, and transformation. This concept has nothing to do with motivation and everything to do with something far more powerful. But before I explain what it is, I need you to understand why motivation is killing your dreams. Let me be very clear about something right from the start. There are two types of motivation. The first type is what I call cheap motivation or excitement. This is the feeling you get when you watch a powerful video, when you hear an inspiring speech, when you imagine your future success. This motivation feels amazing. It gives you goosebumps. It makes you want to conquer the world, and it disappears by Wednesday. The second type of motivation is what the Japanese call ikigai, your reason for being, your deep purpose. This is important, and we've talked about this in previous videos. But today, we're going to discuss something even more fundamental than purpose. We're going to talk about the mechanism that turns purpose into reality, knowledge into action, dreams into achievements. Before we dive in, I want you to do something. Leave a comment right now and answer this question. What's the one thing you keep putting off? What's the goal you have all the knowledge to achieve, but you keep finding reasons not to start? Be honest, write it down, and while you're there, help someone else in the comments. Maybe somebody wrote about a problem you've already solved. Maybe you can give them the push they need. Let's build a community of people who actually do things, not just talk about doing things. Now, let's talk about why you're stuck. The year is 2026, and you have access to more information than any generation in human history. You can learn anything, from anywhere, at any time. You've probably watched hundreds of hours of educational content. You've read the books, taken the courses, saved the Instagram posts with the perfect morning routine. You know exactly what you need to do to get in shape, to build a business, to learn that skill, to change your life. So why haven't you done it? It's not because you don't know how. It's because you're waiting for something that will never come. You're waiting to feel like it. You're waiting for motivation. And motivation, my friend, is a lie. Think about it. How many times have you felt incredibly motivated, made huge plans, maybe even started taking action, and then a few days later, that motivation vanished? You woke up tired, you had a bad day, you didn't feel inspired anymore, and because you built your entire system on feeling motivated, when the feeling left, the action stopped too. This is the trap that catches 99% of people. They think discipline is about feeling motivated all the time. They think successful people must wake up every day feeling excited and inspired. But that's not how it works at all. In fact, it's the complete opposite. Let me take you back to 10th century Japan during the Heian period. There was a concept that emerged during this time, a concept that would later define the samurai spirit and transform ordinary men into legendary warriors. This concept was called Yamato Damashii. And what it represented was so powerful, so transformative, that it would be both revered and later tragically corrupted. Yamato Damashii translates roughly to the Japanese spirit, but that translation misses the depth of what it really means. To understand it, you need to understand the problem it was created to solve. During the Heian period, the Japanese elite were obsessed with Chinese culture, and for good reason. Chinese civilization had produced incredible philosophy, military strategy, art, and wisdom. The Japanese nobility studied Chinese classics intensely. They could quote Confucius, debate Buddhist philosophy, explain military tactics in perfect detail. But there was a problem. These nobles knew everything and did nothing. They could explain every detail of sword fighting but had never held a sword. They could recite battle strategies but had never faced an enemy. They had all the theoretical knowledge in the world, but none of the practical ability to use it. They were living libraries, impressive to listen to, but useless in reality. The Japanese had a term for this knowledge. They called it karagokoro, or Chinese knowledge. And they recognized that while this knowledge was valuable, even essential, it was completely worthless without something else. It was worthless without Yamato Damashii, the spirit to actually execute. There's an old Japanese saying from this period: knowledge is of little use without Yamato Damashii. Let that sink in for a moment. All the knowledge in the world, all the books you've read, all the videos you've watched, all the courses you've taken, they're of little use without the spirit to execute them. Yamato Damashii wasn't about rejecting foreign knowledge. It wasn't about nationalism or superiority, at least not in its original form. It was about recognizing a fundamental truth of human nature. Knowing what to do and actually doing it are two completely different things. And the bridge between them isn't more knowledge. It's not more motivation. It's something deeper. Something that the ancient Japanese understood better than almost any culture in history. So what exactly is Yamato Damashii? At its core, it's the principle of duty over feeling. It's the understanding that your actions should not be determined by your emotions, but by your identity and your commitments. It's the recognition that motivation is fleeting, but duty is eternal. Let me explain this with a concept that will change everything for you. Most people operate on what I call the motivation action cycle. They wait to feel motivated, then they take action, then the motivation fades, then they stop. This creates an endless loop of starting and stopping, of New Year's resolutions that die in February, of workout plans that last a week, of business ideas that never launch. But people who embody Yamato Damashii operate on a completely different system. They operate on the identity-duty cycle. They decide who they are, not who they want to be, who they are right now. And then they fulfill the duties that come with that identity, regardless of how they feel. Here's the difference, and this is crucial. When you say, "I want to work out," you're creating distance between who you are now and who you want to be. This distance allows negotiation. I want to work out, but I'm tired. I want to work out, but I'll start Monday. I want to work out, but let me watch one more episode. But when you say, "I am someone who works out," there's no distance, there's no negotiation. People who work out, work out. That's what they do. It's not a choice. It's not based on feeling. It's identity. And identity doesn't take days off. This is Yamato Damashii. It's not about forcing yourself to do things you hate. It's about becoming someone for whom those things are non-negotiable. Someone for whom the question, "Should I do this today?" simply doesn't exist. Now I need to address something important. The concept of Yamato Damashii has a dark history. During World War II, the Japanese militaristic government took this beautiful concept and twisted it into propaganda. They used it to promote blind nationalism, to convince soldiers to die senselessly for the emperor, to claim Japanese superiority over other nations. This corruption was so complete that even today, many Japanese people avoid using the term because of its association with that dark period. But that wasn't real Yamato Damashii. That was propaganda wearing the skin of something sacred. The original concept had nothing to do with national superiority or blind obedience to authority. It was about personal transformation. It was about the internal battle between the person you are and the person you're capable of becoming. It was about killing the version of yourself that negotiates, that makes excuses, that knows but doesn't act. Real Yamato Damashii is about duty to yourself, to your declared identity, to the person you committed to being. It's about integrity between your words and your actions, between who you say you are and what you actually do. So how do you develop this? How do you go from someone who relies on motivation to someone who operates from duty? Let me give you the exact process, the same process that transformed weak nobles into legendary warriors. The same process that can transform you from someone who knows into someone who does. Step 1. You need to make a declaration, not a goal. A declaration of identity. Don't say I'm going to start working out. Say I am someone who trains their body. Don't say I want to build a business. Say I am an entrepreneur. Don't say I should read more. Say I am someone who reads every day. This isn't just semantics. This is fundamental. When you declare an identity, you're not creating a task list. You're creating a new version of yourself. Step 2. You need to understand that this identity comes with duties. And duties are non-negotiable. If you declare I am someone who trains, then training isn't something you do when you feel like it. It's something you do because people who train, train. That's what they do. It's not optional. It's definitional. The moment you start negotiating, the moment you say just not today or I'll start Monday, you're not that person anymore. You're back to being someone who wants to be that person, which means you're back to being stuck. Step 3. You need to commit to a specific period of consistency. I recommend 90 days, 3 months. Not because it takes 90 days to form a habit. That 21-day myth is nonsense. But because 90 days is long enough for your brain to fully accept the new identity. In those 90 days, you show up every single day without exception. Not because you feel like it, not because you're motivated, but because it's who you are. And here's what happens. In the first 2 weeks, you're going to be fighting yourself constantly. Every day will feel like a battle. Your mind will offer you 1,000 reasons to stop, to take a break, to start over next week. This is normal. This is the old you fighting for survival. Don't negotiate with it. Just show up. Around week 3 or 4, something shifts. It gets slightly easier, not because the action is easier, but because you're starting to accept the new identity. You're starting to believe it. By week 6 or 7, you'll notice something amazing. You're no longer thinking about whether to do it. You're just doing it. The action is becoming automatic, not because it's a habit, but because it's who you are. And by day 90, if you've truly shown up every single day, you'll be a different person. Not metaphorically, literally. You will have killed the old version of yourself and been reborn as someone new. Someone who doesn't need motivation, because motivation is for people who are trying to be something. You're not trying anymore. You are. But there's something crucial you need to understand about this process, something that most people get wrong. Yamato Damashii is not about self-punishment. It's not about destroying yourself in the name of discipline. It's not about ignoring your body's genuine needs or pushing through legitimate illness. There's a difference between breaking your duty out of weakness and adjusting out of wisdom. If you're genuinely sick, like actually sick, not just tired or unmotivated, resting isn't breaking Yamato Damashii. It's honoring it, because you're resting to serve your greater purpose tomorrow, not avoiding discomfort today. The test is simple. Ask yourself, why am I stopping today? If the answer is because I don't want to, because it's hard, because I deserve a break, you're negotiating. Execute, don't stop. But if the answer is because my body genuinely needs recovery so I can perform better tomorrow, that's not negotiating. That's strategy. Warriors rest strategically to fight harder. Cowards rest emotionally to avoid fighting. Same action, completely different intention. This distinction is critical because Yamato Damashii without wisdom becomes fanaticism, and fanaticism destroys people. But Yamato Damashii with wisdom becomes mastery, and mastery transforms people. Never confuse the two. Let me tell you what happens when you truly embody this. When you live by Yamato Damashii, when duty becomes your operating system instead of motivation, something incredible happens. You stop living in constant internal conflict. Right now, every single day, you're probably fighting with yourself. Should I work out today? Should I work on my project? Should I study? Should I practice? Every single one of these questions drains your mental energy. Every negotiation exhausts you. But when you operate from duty, those questions disappear. You don't decide whether to work out today. You work out. That's what people who train do. You don't decide whether to work on your business today. You work. That's what entrepreneurs do. The question simply doesn't exist. And when the question doesn't exist, you're free. People think discipline is a prison. They think it's about restricting yourself, limiting your freedom, forcing yourself to do things you hate. But it's the exact opposite. Discipline is freedom. Motivation is the prison. Motivation traps you in endless cycles of starting and stopping, of promising and breaking promises, of knowing what you should do, but being unable to do it. That's imprisonment. But when you decide once and execute 1,000 times, when you establish your identity and simply fulfill its duties, you're free. Free from the constant mental warfare, free from the guilt of broken promises, free from the shame of wasted potential. This is what Yamato Damashii offers you, not restriction, liberation. Now, let's talk about how this applies to your specific situation. Whatever you wrote in the comments earlier, whatever goal you have, whatever action you keep putting off, you already know what you need to do. You don't need more information. You don't need another course, another book, another video. You have knowledge. What you lack is Yamato Damashii. You lack the spirit to execute. So here's what you're going to do. Right now, today, you're going to make a declaration. Not tomorrow, not Monday, now. You're going to declare your identity. Not I want to be, not I'm going to try to be, but I am. Say it out loud if you're alone. Write it down if you're in public. But declare it. I am someone who does this thing, and then tomorrow morning, you're going to fulfill that identity's duty. Not because you feel like it, not because you're motivated, but because people with that identity do that thing. That's what they do. And you're one of them now. You declared it. Now prove it, and you're going to do it again the next day, and the day after that, and the day after that. For 90 days straight, no exceptions, no negotiations, no just this once. If you truly commit to this, if you truly embody Yamato Damashii, 90 days from now, you will be unrecognizable. Not just in your results, though those will be obvious, but in your identity. You will have become someone else. Someone who doesn't need videos like this anymore because you're not trying to be disciplined. You simply are. Let me end with this. The ancient Japanese understood something that modern culture has forgotten. They understood that knowledge without the spirit to execute is worthless. They understood that motivation is a feeling, and feelings change with the wind. They understood that transformation doesn't come from knowing more. It comes from being different. Yamato Damashii is that difference. It's the bridge between the person who knows and the person who does. It's the difference between dreaming about your potential and actually becoming it. It's the difference between trying and being. You don't need more motivation. You've had plenty of motivation. You felt inspired countless times, and where did it get you? You need something deeper. You need duty. You need identity. You need Yamato Damashii. The person you are right now, the one watching this video, the one who knows what they should do but keeps putting it off, that person can end today. Not gradually, not eventually. Today, right now. The moment you decide who you are and commit to fulfilling that identity's duties without negotiation, the old you dies, and someone new is born. Someone who doesn't need motivation because they're not doing things, they're being someone. And that someone simply cannot help but act. This is Yamato Damashii. This is the ancient wisdom that the modern world desperately needs. This is what transforms ordinary people into legends. The choice is yours. You can close this video and go back to waiting for motivation, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting to feel ready. Or you can make a declaration right now and begin the 90-day transformation that will change everything. Choose quickly, because every day you wait, the old you grows stronger, and one day it will win, unless you kill it today. If you've made it this far, you've proven you have something most people don't. The ability to focus, the desire to change. Now use it. Take action. Declare your identity. Fulfill your duty. Walk the path. And if this video has changed how you see discipline in action, subscribe to this channel. Turn on notifications. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Not because I need views, but because you need accountability. The moment you share this, You're making a public declaration. You're saying this matters to me, and that declaration is the first step. Remember, knowledge is of little use without Yamato Damashii. You have the knowledge. Now develop the spirit. See you in the next video. Now go execute.